this actually comes to us from Deadline.com, letting us know that there's more films in the process. It seems as though Marv is planning around 7 more Kingsman films, is what the new CEO says. So it says the Marv Group CEO, Zygi Kamasa, has said that the filmmaker Matthew Vaughn, which actually you just talked about Matthew Vaughn yesterday, Stuart. Matthew Vaughn is plotting something like 7 more Kingsman films as part of the company's expansion plans. It says we want to grow the business and the output, is what they wind up telling the finance summit last week. We have a Kingsman TV series in the works, and there are 2 or 3 other franchises that are being developed alongside the Kingsman world. So it says through the 2 movies, the Kingsman franchise has grossed $825 million. COVID delayed prequel The Kingsman is due to hit theaters in February of next year for Disney. So yeah, it's gonna a ton of returning characters, and of course Edgerton himself. I believe will Edgerton be back? No, I think that's just the prequel that they're referring to there in regards to the Kingsman. But if you're telling me you're going to be doing something like 7 more Kingsman films, I got to think that Edgerton is going to be involved in some capacity or another. So let me go ahead and throw this over to you first, Stuart, in regards to it, since I believe you brought up Matthew Vaughn yesterday when we were talking about potential maybe directors, I think, for maybe some Marvel films. I know you talked very highly of him, but let me ask you a question. One, how have you liked the Kingsman franchise so far? And 2, what are your thoughts when you hear the idea that they're planning 7 more Kingsman films, or at least the idea of a mixture of maybe TV series and movies? What are your thoughts on this? I think you're on mute. Are you on mute?
I am. Sorry, I thought I pressed the thing, but I was wrong. No, I'm definitely intrigued, but at the same time, slightly worried, because I do feel like this is a universe where you can have an expansive franchise through it, like TV and other movies as well. The only thing that kind of worries me about this is I feel like with the first Kingsman movie, I thought was actually really good. In fact, I actually would say it was perfect for what it wanted to be. It blended humor and action just so well together, and was just like and not to mention some of the best action scenes I've seen in any spy movie out there. Were just like so amazingly well directed, especially that church fight scene. Like, holy crap!
Yeah, I can go back and watch that fight scene all the time.
That all being said, I was not the biggest fan of the second film. I feel like that was when they went a little too overboard with the humor and stuff. And it's kind of funny because now it looks like with this third film being a prequel, it looks like they're taking too much of a step back from the humor. So, it's like one of those things where I feel like currently they're kind of experimenting with how much humor they can get away with, how much they can't. I think that once they kind of figure out that balance, it does, which I think the first one, again, they figured it out with the first one because the first one was amazing. I do think that there is a lot of potential of what you could do with this franchise, especially in the realm of television. I feel like, especially where television is going nowadays, you could definitely make a really fun Kingsman franchise, for the TV screen for sure.
I am wondering if the first after the first Kingsman, if the second one, because I did not finish all of the second one, but I can't recall if Matthew Vaughn, if he was the writer of that film too, or if he was the director also, like he was with the first one, because it did feel like for the second one it kind of jumped the shark a little bit, definitely kind of jumped the rails from what they had kind of established for themselves in the first one, which the first one was really solid, really enjoyable. Yeah, that Colin Firth, I believe, of fighting in the church scene, just unbelievable sequence of choreography in there. But so yeah, some amazing action, great role by Samuel L. Jackson also. So yeah, the first one definitely left an impression. So to kind of see the second one jump the shark a little bit was a little bit of a bummer. But what I have seen in the prequels at least does make me feel as though while they are reeling it back in, maybe they've found a good balance this time going forward. So for me, it always worries me personally whenever you tell me, hey, we've got 7 films planned. It's my thing is like, look, just give me a good next one, okay, and then let me see how I feel. And then if people like that one, then come up with an idea. So I don't think there's anything wrong with like forward thinking, at least, and maybe having a plot outlines of where you want to go. But if you're pushing forward and you're spending money developing all this stuff all at once, that is a little bit worrisome for me. But let's get one or two first, see how it goes, and we'll go from there. But let me throw this over to you, Indy. You hear this news. First off, what's your relationship like with the Kingsman franchise? And do you think that there's potential for 7 more films or a mixture of TV series and other films coming out of this? What are your thoughts?
I was very, very fond of the first Kingsman movie. The second one, not so much. I know that it took me multiple viewings to get through the
Try and get
second
through
movie.
it.
Yeah. There's a possibility for anything to have a huge number of sequels, but that all depends on the writing. If the writing is going to be like the second movie, they don't have 7 movies in them. Because I felt like the second movie, they had no idea what they want to do anyway. They just wrote something to try to capitalize on the popularity of the first one. That's honestly what it felt like. Everybody's trying to be Disney and Marvel because everybody wants to have that legacy of movies that build up to and television that build up to something. But when you don't have somebody like Kevin Feige controlling all of that and mapping out some type of plan and then putting pieces in the right place to make it work, it's just not going to work. I don't think people are as familiar with the Kingsman lore as they are with Marvel lore. And that's the issue they're going to have in keeping people's attention. I mean, attention spans are so short in this day and age. I mean, I feel like Disney and Sony and all of them have enough problems trying to keep people's attention with all this stuff that they're putting out. I don't see it working. It could be the new James Bond for us if it didn't jump the shark like it did in the second movie. That's what I felt like they were trying to go. Modern day, you know what I'm saying? Not as far as sense of where it's set, but modern day style James Bond is what I got from it. But when that second movie came out, it felt more like The Expendables.